Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have made the decision to sack Solskjaer. But Solskjaer could remain in charge until the end of the season. Solskjaer is refusing to quit Man United, despite senior stars losing faith in tactics. Solskjaer is sure he can turn Man United's fortunes around. Earlier on this week, Solskjaer returned to the Carrington training ground. Last week, Solskjaer was away in Norway after he granted his players a week off. Solskjaer will be in charge for the game against Watford this Saturday, but it could be his last game in charge of Manchester United. Earlier on this week, there was reports coming out saying that 8 Man United stars feel misled by Solskjaer with the broken promises he made to them during the summer. And last weekend, there was reports coming out saying that senior stars want Solskjaer sacked. That was stemming from Duncan Castles. Now, when Manchester United sack Solskjaer, they'll have to pay Solskjaer around £7.5 million. Because in the summer, he signed a new 3-year contract with an option of a further year. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If we'd have sacked him after that game, I can assure that Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. After the humiliation to Liverpool, it said that Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job, and he only won 1 of them 3 games. Brendan Rodgers or Zidane will replace Solskjaer. Zidane is not available until the summer because the Man United board have had talks with Zidane, and Zidane let the board know that he doesn't feel ready for the Premier League at the moment and he prefers to take a break until the summer. Zidane is said to be interested in the Man United job, but obviously there's a problem. Zidane's wife is not attracted to the idea of living in Manchester. Reports said last month that Zidane wasn't interested in the Manchester United job. Zidane's close relationships with Ronaldo and Varane, could persuade him to join. Ronaldo wants Zidane at Man United. He's already made that clear. Ronaldo knows Zidane well because Ronaldo played under Zidane at Real Madrid. Zidane is available because he left Real Madrid in the summer. You've got to admire what he did at Real Madrid. He won a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. But I reckon he would be the man for Manchester United. I think he'd get us back to that level where we should be at. He'd suit the strappings of the club, and he'd get the best out of these group of players. My preference would certainly be Zidane over Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is actually the favourite to replace Solskjaer at Man United. It said yesterday that Brendan Rodgers is ready to say yes to Man United if he's offered the job. He has been house hunting in Cheshire. The Manchester Evening News said the other week that Man United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked, and earlier on in the season it said Brendan Rodgers had already verbally agreed to become Man United's new manager, but his preference would be to wait until next season, as it said he was reluctant to leave Leicester midway through the season. We revert back to Solskjaer. I think Solskjaer has had long enough at Manchester United. You know, Solskjaer's been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. And this season is Solskjaer's third full season at Man United, and I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him. But Solskjaer, he's not the long-term manager for Man United. You know, I knew that a while ago. Solskjaer's not capable of winning trophies as Man United manager. You know, he's not even won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. The expectations are just far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. And Solskjaer's in a position that he shouldn't be in. I hate to say all this regarding Solskjaer, but I'm just being realistic. We all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club. At the end of the day, he is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. He had a proven pedigree as a player, because he won a lot of trophies as a player, but unfortunately, he has no proven pedigree as a manager, and that is a big concern. Solskjaer is partly to blame for our poor performances, because Solskjaer's tactics and his team selections have been questioned a lot, but not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. There's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. But it's quite obvious the players do not want Solskjaer at Man United because they're not playing for the manager. You know, at this moment in time, Manchester United are in a predicament, and the way to get out of this predicament is to get a change of manager, and structural changes are also needed at the club. Ollie knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, he knew it was going to be a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Solskjaer's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The reason he got the job on a permanent basis is reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. You know, there is positives regarding Solskjaer. You know, I think since he's come in, he has developed the youth well. In certain aspects, he has brought consistency back. He has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far, he's signed 14 players. Man United have spent over £400 million under Solskjaer, and Solskjaer's endured like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. You know, he's loaned players out. He's got rid of a lot of players permanently. Some progress has been made under Solskjaer because Solskjaer's got us to semi-finals. He got us to 3 semi-finals in his first full season last season. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Last season he got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager, but unfortunately we didn't win it. So there you go, and last season he got us a second place finish, and in his first full season he got us a third place finish. So they are the positives. The board have backed Solskjaer. You know, they still continue to back him now. Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings. 3 of the signings were major signings, and we spent around £141 million in the summer transfer window. You know, I was expecting Manchester United to do much better this season than they are. We're in terrible form. We've had back-to-back home defeats to City and Liverpool, and Man United have only won 1 of their last 6 Premier League games. And we're 6th in the Premier League at the moment. Manchester United have got a very good squad, but the reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because we're a team of individuals. You know, we don't actually play as a team. If we played as a team, we'd be in a much better position than we're in at the moment. You know, look at the players we've got. You know, we've got Mason Greenwood. He's a talented player. Greenwood's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. I can assure he's got a long-term future at Manchester United. Greenwood has scored, 4 goals in the league so far this season. At one point though, Greenwood did go a while without scoring, but despite that he's been a revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season he signed a new 4-year contract with the club. Most of the time Greenwood plays on the right wing. Well, that's where he's mostly effective. He actually played up top alongside Ronaldo in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. The Greenwood and Ronaldo partnership certainly does not work out. We've also got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's done really well since he's re-signed. Ronaldo has scored 9 goals in all competitions so far. Not so long ago, Ronaldo got named Player of the Month for October, so reflecting on that, he's got back-to-back awards, because back in September, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month, and Ronaldo's even infuriated with what's going on at Man United, and he mocked Solskjaer's tactics in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Man United are relying on Ronaldo far too much. Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta because he netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. Ronaldo scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He also scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. So there you go. Ronaldo has got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. He receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. He wears the number 7 shirt, and we got him for £19.8 million with add-ons included. He's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Jadon Sancho, I think overall he's a good player, but he's been very poor for Manchester United so far. And reflecting on that, fans have been getting on his back. I think Solskjaer is to blame for Sancho's performances because when Ole decides to play him, he persistently plays him out of position. I said Sancho will do well at Man United providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in, but there's quite a few games Sancho doesn't even play in, so reflecting on that, does he have a future at the club? You know, we got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till June 2026. There's an option of a further year. You've got Bruno Fernandes. That's an exceptional player. Fernandes has been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games. Fernandes is one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. You know, we got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. When Fernandes first came in, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. He's got a contract with the club until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. We've also got Marcus Rashford. That's a good player as well. He's done well in quite a few games since he's come back. But there's been a few games where he's looked off the pace. Don't forget, at one point Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Most of the time now Rashford plays on the left wing. Well, that's where we need to keep him because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been in our senior squad since 2016. So he's been in our senior squad now for a good 5.5 years. He's got a contract with Man United till 2023. You've got Edison Cavani, that's another good player as well. Cavani is out with injury until December. He actually had an injury earlier on this season. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. It was back in May he signed that 1-year contract extension. But yeah, like I say, I think he's going to be leaving Man United next year. You know, we got Cavani on a free transfer. This season is his second full season at Man United. Donny van der Beek, he's another good player Man United have got, but I haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United because he hasn't been given enough game time. And I've said Solskjaer should be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. Van der Beek's leaving Man United in January. The player himself has confirmed that. He did mention earlier on this season that Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer, and prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did make an admission regarding Van der Beek, saying that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. You know, Man United paid £40 million for Van der Beek, so for what we paid for him, I expected him to play a hell of a lot more games than he has done. And he's got a contract with Man United till 2025. And there's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. But Van der Beek's endured a difficult year and a half or so at Man United, and this season is his second full season at the club. Paul Pogba, he's also a good player as well. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player. Pogba did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season. He got 7 assists. He produced good performances as well for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. Pogba may never play for Manchester United again, because Pogba's going to be missing the rest of 2021, because Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training the other week. And I think Man United are prepared to sell Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it makes sense to cash in for him in January rather than let him go on a free next summer. Pogba wouldn't have been in contention to play against Watford anyway, even if he wasn't injured, because he's still got one game to serve out of the 3-match ban he got in the league. Because earlier on in the season, Pogba got sent off in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. Reports from France did say, though, was it the other week, like I updated you, that Pogba wants to renew his contract at Man United on one condition, that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. So he wants to overtake Ronaldo as the highest paid player. Well, he's one of the highest paid players at the club as it stands, because at the moment Pogba receives around 290 grand a week on his current contract. His current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. But Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with his former club Juventus. He did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. You know, Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with Pogba. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him. Inter Milan have been in for him before. He's our most expensive signing at the moment, because we paid £89 million for him. This season is Pogba's 6th season at the club since he rejoined, and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far. You've got Luke Shaw. That is a good left back overall, but he certainly has not proven how good he can be this season, because Luke Shaw's been dreadful this season. And I'm shocked in that aspect, because last season Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. Where is the Luke Shaw from last season? He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. Shaw's obviously had a concussion, but he should be fit to play against Watford on Saturday. Shaw got the concussion in the 2-0 defeat to Man City, and Luke Shaw was the main culprit for Man City's second goal by Bernardo Silva. He is injury prone, is Shaw, which is a concern, but despite that, I think he has had a good career at Man United. Luke Shaw has been a long-serving player at Man United. He's been at the club for like 7.5 years now. And he's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez. Shaw has got under 2 years left on his Man United contract. Maguire, he can be a good centre-half, but I just don't think he's been good enough for Manchester United. He's been very, very poor this season, and he's been even worse since he came back from that calf injury. We seem to get the best out of Maguire when he's playing alongside Varane, but when he's alongside Bailly or Lindelof or both, you don't seem to get the best out of him. Man United overpaid for Maguire, got him for 80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. You've also got Eric Bailly, that's a very good centre-half as well. But Bailly doesn't get regular game time. He lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and Solskjaer prefers Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. Don't ask me why, because Bailly's a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. Bailly's only made 3 appearances this season. He's injury prone Bailly, which is a concern. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's been at Man United for 5.5 years. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. And you've also got Raphael Varane. That's a very good centre-half as well. He's done well in quite a few games for Man United, but he's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Varane has already endured 2 injuries since he signed for the club, though. He's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. He's out for around 2 to 3 weeks. And not so long ago, he was out with a groin injury, and he had that groin injury for a few weeks. He initially made his return in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. He is a big miss for Man United. You know, Man United got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. He has got a contract with the club till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varane to Man United was made official just before kick-off against Leeds, which was the opening day. But he is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a very good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid. And he was also a long-serving player when he was at Real Madrid, so he remained loyal to them for a good 10-11 years. Pisaka, defensively, he's superb, but the attacking side of his game is not so good, and there's certainly aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that's got to improve. But despite that, I still think he's one of the best right-backs we've had since Gary Neville. You know, this season is Wan-Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. We got him 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. And obviously we've got David De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. He's done really, really well this season to his credit, and Henderson's also good, but obviously doesn't get in there now. So there you go, and there's obviously inconsistent players at Man United. You know, I don't think Lindelof's good enough to represent the club. Obviously Maguire's not good enough at the moment, and if his bad performances continue to persist, I don't think he's got a long-term future at the club. You know, Luke Shaw has not been good enough this season, but I am convinced at some point that he will regain his form. You know, Fred, he's another one not good enough to represent the club. Man United overpaid for Fred, got him in a deal worth 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. You know, McTominay, I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. Fred and McTominay play a lot of games together, and a lot of United fans have had a go at Solskjaer for him persistently selecting Fred and McTominay in the centre midfield. Matic, you know, he isn't good enough either. Even though he's had his good games at Man United, I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder. But he's not one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that he still gets his opportunities, and surprisingly enough he's ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. I think he's going next year, Matic. I think Matic is the only predominant holding midfielder we've got at the moment. Lingard, you know, he's another one, not good enough to represent the club, but he doesn't really get in the team anyway. Lingard's leaving Man United next year. I heard that he could be leaving for just £10 million. And Anthony Martial, he's another one that's not good enough to represent the club, but Martial doesn't get in the team anyway. So there you go. I was supposed to be doing my predicted 11 on this video, but wanted to give you some more news on Solskjaer. I will be doing a predicted 11 video for the Watford game. It may be on my next video or the video after that. So anyway guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.